Cody Thompson and I had a walkthrough with the contractor this afternoon, and we discussed several strategies to try and make sure that we are ready to start with that building. The next item involves this building. The new chiller has been installed and is up and running for this building. And this morning they set the new chiller at guess, and they expect, working on the piping and all of that, they expect that piece to be up and running by the late part of this week. And so we should be good to go there. Online enrollment is ongoing, and we're encouraging all parents to complete the process as soon as possible so that we can determine what our numbers are going to be. Obviously, this is a different year, and we are under some challenges there as far as trying to make sure that we capture all of the students that they're going to be attending with us. We are in the process of calling families that have been with us in the past, and we are exploring, if they have not registered, we're trying to remind them to register. And if they're going to look for another educational option, then we are noting that so that we can have a better idea of the number of students that we can expect. New teacher orientation is this Thursday in the high school cafeteria. It'll begin around 8 o'clock. And board members, if you can attend, you're more than welcome to enjoy that. And we have traditionally taken a tour of the buildings after that, the initial part of the orientation, where we introduce a lot of the administrative staff. And I've taken the board members around and looked at the construction. I know some of you have viewed some of it with me at various stages also, but that's an option if you would like to, or if you want to schedule something with me that's separate, be glad to accommodate you. The all-school convocation is Monday, August 17th, beginning at 8:30 a.m. This will be a virtual meeting with the sites merging together. So it's going to be different. Traditionally, we have had all of the staff in this space in the junior high auditorium. We're going to do it a little bit differently so that we don't have as many people together. And the administration staff, Cotterill, and the junior high staff will be in this facility that we're in tonight. And then Central Fogarty Transportation and Maintenance will be in the Fogarty auditorium. And they will be joining us via video conference. Charter Oak and the high school faculty will be in their respective cafeterias. And the guest faculty will be in their library, and technology will be everywhere that I named, trying to make all of this happen. And so it will be a virtual convocation from the standpoint of Zoom. We will have a lot of it will take place on this stage as it traditionally does. And board members, if you would like to attend, again, that starts at 8:30 on Monday the 17th. I would encourage you to come to the junior high auditorium. We've scheduled a special board meeting for Tuesday, August 18th at 8 a.m. to handle any last-minute personnel issues, consider the negotiated agreement, and finalize some handbooks. Due to the short nature of the expected agenda, we will conduct a meeting over Zoom. Meet the Teacher is going to look a little different this year. Since it's very difficult to contact trace, we're asking all attendees to wear masks. Also, we're asking that only one parent and the student enter the building. Elementary Meet the Teacher will be Tuesday the 18th, and that is for the 4 elementary schools, Charter Oak, Fogarty, Central, and Cotterill. That will be from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and we're encouraging those with the last name of A through M to come from 3 until 5, and if you have a last name of N through Z, 5 to 7. Guest Meet the Teacher will be at the same time with the same conditions. The junior high open house will be at the same day, Tuesday the 18th, from 4 until 7 p.m. And all of these, because we have visitors, everyone is asked to wear masks. High school freshman orientation is Tuesday, August 18th from 6:30 until 8 p.m. And the first day of school is Thursday, August 20th. Also, the OSSBA Coast Conference scheduled for August 27th through the 30th in Oklahoma City has been canceled. That is my report.
Thank you very much. The consent agenda.
Madam President, I move that we approve the consent agenda excluding item B.
Second.
Motion's been made to approve the consent agenda except for item B by Flagg and seconded by Smith. Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carried. Consent agenda item 8B. Motion's in order.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve consent agenda item 8B.
Motion's made by Smedley, seconded by Bennett Johnson to approve consent agenda item 8B. Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Flagg.
Abstain.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carried. Business agenda item 9, recommendation, consideration, and action to calculate the 2020-2021 school year by instructional hours.
This is an item we brought to the board over the past 10 years to give us additional flexibility in the event of any kind of school closure. Obviously, it's of the essence to look at that for this year. Pages 34 through 41 in your packet, we will still exceed 1,080 hours of instructional time that's required as a minimum by the State Department of Education. If you have questions, Mr. Ogle is here to answer them.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the action to calculate the 2020-2021 school year by instructional hours.
Second.
Motion's been made by Smedley and seconded by Davis to approve the business item agenda 9A. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon authorizing Jana Wanzer as the authorized representative for the Child Nutrition Program.
This is an annual item that we bring to the board to formally authorize our Child Nutrition Department to have Jana Wanzer serve as their representative. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move that we authorize Jana Wanzer as the authorized representative for Child Nutrition Program.
Second.
Motion's been made by Flagg and seconded by Davis to approve 9B. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9C, recommendation, consideration, and action upon the memorandum of understanding between the Oklahoma City Community College and Guthrie High School for the dual concurrent program for 2020-2021.
This is a new item that we bring to the board. In the past, we have partnered with several colleges or higher ed offerings for our students at concurrent enrollment, and we want to welcome Oklahoma City Community College as part of that suite of offerings that we have, and they have pledged also to bring instructors to our campus for some of the coursework, and they have also pledged to waive the tuition and only charge the absolute necessary fees. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I make a motion that we accept the memorandum of understanding between Oklahoma City Community College and Guthrie High School for the dual concurrent program for 2020-2021.
Second.
Motion's been made by Davis and seconded by Schroeder to approve 9C.
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Clyde?
Yes.
Bennett Johnson?
Yes.
Davis? Yes. Schroeder?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon the school bus drivers handbook for 2020-21. School bus riders handbook.
This is on pages 46 through 55 of your packet. We have a Redline Master that shows the changes recommended, and Mr. Ogle is here to answer any questions if you have any. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the school bus riders handbook for 2020 and 2021.
Second. Motion's been made by Schroeder and seconded by Bennett Johnson to approve 9D. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Clyde?
Yes.
Bennett Johnson? Yes. Davis? Yes. Schroeder?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9E, recommendation, consideration, and action upon the school bus drivers and monitors handbook for 2020-2021.
This is on pages 56 through 80 of your packet. It is a Redline Master that shows the recommended changes for the school bus drivers and monitors handbook. Mr. Ogle is here to answer questions if there are any. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move to adopt the school bus drivers and monitors handbook for 2020 to 2021.
Second.
Motion's been made by Salee and seconded by Smedley to approve 9E. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Clyde?
Yes.
Bennett Johnson? Yes. Davis? Yes. Schroeder?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9F, recommendation, consideration, and action upon the agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County for school resource officer provided by the Logan County Sheriff's Office for 2020-2021.
This is a renewal of an agreement that we have with Logan County to provide an SRO for Charter Oak Elementary. It's on pages 81 through 88 of your packet, and recommend approval.
Any changes in the fees, Dr. Singh?
No, not in this one.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County for school resource officer provided by Logan County Sheriff's Office for 2020-2021.
Second.
Motion is made by Schroeder and seconded by Salee to approve 9F. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Clyde?
Yes.
Bennett Johnson? Yes. Davis? Yes. Schroeder?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9G, recommendation, consideration, and action upon the agreement with the City of Guthrie for school resource officers provided by the Guthrie Police Department for 2020-2021.
This item is on pages 89 through 92. This is a long-standing agreement we've had with the City of Guthrie. They provide one officer free of charge, and then we pay for the cost of 2 officers. And we pay the cost of those 2 officers is not the officers we get, it's the cost of a rookie that would be on the street for Guthrie PD if we did not hire the 2 officers that we have coming. This comes with and I told Finance Committee a little bit off, I think I said around $3,000. When we added it up, it was just a little over $1,500 that's higher than it was last year, and that's a cost of living adjustment that the entry level year Guthrie PD officer received. Recommend approval of this. There are no other changes to that agreement, and I would mention, even though it says draft, this document was approved by the Guthrie City Council last Tuesday.
Madam President, I move that we approve the agreement with the City of Guthrie for school resource officers provided by the Police Department for 2020-2021.
Second.
Motion is made by Flagg and seconded by Smedley to approve 9G. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Clyde?
Yes.
Bennett
realized going into your packet, we had a lot of challenges in putting the packet together this time, but the headers were lost on those policies. But I can tell you that that is C15A, that it's on pages 93 through 97, and probably it's my fault that those headers were lost. But anyway, that's still a policy recommended change. It's a Redline Master, and there's just some terminology that was added on service animal in training, and some definitions there based on what our attorneys are recommending.
Have we had any service animals in the school?
We have not.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve district policy C15A, service animals.
Second.
Motion has been made by Smedley and seconded by Schroeder to approve 9H. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Davis. Yes. Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Agenda item 9I, recommendation, consideration, and action upon the revision of district policy D9A, alcohol and drug testing for bus drivers.
This is on pages 98 through 111 of your packet. It is Redline Master. There have been some changes to state law, and a clearinghouse has been developed with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and we have to, the addition of that clearinghouse necessitates change in our policy. That's, I believe that's the only, the changes there are necessitated only because of that.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the revision to the district policy 9D-A, alcohol and drug testing for bus drivers.
Second.
Motion has been made by Davis and seconded by Salee to approve 9I.
D9A.
Agenda item.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Discussion? Roll call?
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Davis. Yes. Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon the revision of district policy D37A, support employee rules for conduct.
This is on pages 112 through 119 of your packet, and there's some language added in there recommended from our attorneys. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move that we approve district policy D37A, support employee rules for conduct.
Motion has been made by Flagg and seconded by Bennett Johnson to approve 9J. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Davis. Yes. Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon the revision of district policy D45, felony record search policy.
This is on pages 120 through 125 of the packet, and it defines a little bit more the fingerprint procedure that is required by the state Department of Education by state law, and also kind of clarify some things that were recommended by our attorney based on some cases that they've encountered with other districts. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve district policy D45, felony record search policy.
Second.
Motion has been made by Smedley and seconded by Salee that we approve 9K. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Davis. Yes. Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7
consideration and action upon revision of District Policy E38, Reading Sufficiency Act, Testing and Procedures.
This is on pages 126 through 130 of your packet. There's some language that has been revised in there to better describe what the Reading Sufficiency Act does, and that was another recommendation from our attorneys. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move to adopt District Policy E38, Reading Sufficiency Act, Testing and Procedures.
Second.
Motion has been made by Salee and seconded to approve 9L. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon revision to District Policy F19, Student Records.
Pages 131 through 144 of your packet contain policy F19. The only addition to this policy is a clarification based on recent state law that was enacted in the last legislative session, provisions of records to a virtual charter school. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I make a motion to approve District Policy F19, Student Records. Second.
Motion is made by Schroeder and seconded by Salee to approve 9M. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9N, recommendation, consideration, and action upon revision to District Policy G9, use of school property regulations.
Pages 145 through 150 contain policy G9. The recommended changes are to comply with the change in the handgun concealed carry law by the state of Oklahoma, and so these changes will clarify that and make sure that it's in compliance with state law. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve District Policy G9, use of school property regulations.
Second.
Motion has been made by Smedley and seconded by Clyde to approve agenda item 9N. For discussion. Roll call, please.
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon revision to District Policy G14, advertising policy.
This is pages 151 and 152 of your packet. There was some language that was cleaned up a little bit early in the policy, and then the additional of adding an area of advertisement that will not be accepted is medical marijuana products, dispensaries, processors, growers, and other marijuana-related businesses.
Madam President, I move to adopt District Policy G14, Advertising Policy.
Second.
Motion has been made by Salee and seconded by Smedley to approve 9O. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carried. 9P is for first reading. It's the presentation of proposed new district policy, C29, cybersecurity.
This is not an action item, but it's a recommendation from our attorneys that we adopt this new policy. This is the first reading of it, and we intend on all of these policies are at first reading to bring them to the special board meeting on August the 18th for your ratification. Are there any questions on the policy? And
regulation regarding the FMCSA clearinghouse, and this is also for first reading.
Yes, this policy on pages 155 through 161 is a new policy that is recommended by our attorneys for as the clearinghouse has been adopted, and so it gives us definitions and procedures that are necessary as we begin the school year. Any questions on that?
Are the school bus drivers the only employees required to have a CDL?
We have coaches that have CDLs. It's not a condition for employment, but it's strongly suggested.
I know we got to approve this, but you're required. But I'm wondering, do we think this may kind of disincentivize employees obtaining a CDL?
I think there's a lot of that that's been built in over the years that we've made it very hard to become a school bus driver. And I guess there are people that would say that it should be very hard to become a school bus driver. But I would say that sometimes I think we've taken it to an extreme. And I think that has hurt districts, not just in Oklahoma. That's a problem across the country. And so I think sometimes these federal regulations, as we all know, can be burdensome. And I think, but I also know that it's one of those things that I don't know that we have any option other than to approve it.
No, I agree.
Yeah. But I would agree with you on that. And I've heard some horror stories from people that were trying to get their CDL and their bus driving permit, and how the examiner has been on that. And it's not an easy endeavor by any stretch.
Any other discussion? 9R, presentation of proposed district policy D50 Teleworking. This again is the first reading.
Okay. This is pages 162 through 164 of your packet. It gives a framework for expectations of our certified staff, and with regard to a closure, whether that be for inclement weather or a COVID-related closure or any other options that we might encounter. And this is some of the new things that are coming out because of the pandemic that we've experienced and what we saw last spring, and trying to make sure that we are trying to stay ahead of the game on this. So if you have questions about that, I'd be glad to try and answer them.
Was this language from our attorney as well?
It is, yes.
9S, presentation of proposed new district policy F11A, emergency medical services at district athletic events and activities. This is first reading.
We've always had a plan for emergency medical personnel and for emergency medical procedures at athletic events, but we've not memorialized it and shared it with the local fire department as is required by this. This is new state law, and it was enacted through this last legislative session, and so this will. While we have already been doing this, we are going to put this in policy so that we know that it's expected that we carry this out, and we can also have that communication with the Guthrie Fire Department and our emergency medical personnel.
Any questions or discussion? 9T, agreement with Sherry Fairchild for psychoeducational services for 2020-2021.
This is an agreement that we bring to you. We met, and Ms. Medley's here, but I think the plan with this one is we may not have to utilize this, or is this one we know we will utilize?
We will for just the first semester.
Say that again.
Just this first semester.
Okay. Recommend approval.
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon revision of district policy GPS COVID-19 protocols.
We've already had one change came down from the CDC that we made a change on. When speaking with our attorney, the way we did the mechanism for change of the COVID protocols, he recommends that we make the change when the recommendation from the CDC comes down, and then make an action item at the next regular board meeting for the changes that have occurred. And so I bring this to you. It's on page, the change is on page 170. It's after a negative COVID test, student or staff member can return to physical school after 24 hours of being fever-free with no fever-reducing medication. That has changed from originally 3 days. And so we monitor that, and we will make the necessary changes on the fly and then bring that to you at the next board meeting. So keep that as an action item and recommend approval.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve district policy GPS COVID-19 protocols.
Second.
Motion is made by Smedley and seconded by Davis to approve 9U. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Clyde?
Yes.
Bennett Johnson? Yes. Davis? Yes. Schroeder?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9B, consideration and vote to approve a resolution pertaining to the district's $750,000 general obligation building bonds, Series 2020B, including fixing the amount of bonds to mature each year, fixing the time and place that the bonds are to be sold, approving a preliminary official statement and authorizing distribution of the same, authorizing the clerk to give notice to said sale as required by law, and approving other matters related to the issuance of bonds.
Mr. Wolf is here to talk us through all of this. John, if you want to approach the podium here, but if you have, do you have things that we need to pass out?
I do not.
Okay. The resolution should be at your table. It has the text on it at the top. It has in red GPS regular board meeting, item 9B.
I'll make this short and sweet, which is not common for me, but this is the next issue that's part of our schedule of issuing bonds. We're looking to have the sale on September 14th, closing around October 22nd. And the positive thing, this is just a 2-year bond, and we're looking at interest rates have dropped quite a bit, even since May, so hopefully here in about a month that will have good rates for you and just a single maturity. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have, and like I said, this is the next step as part of our most recent election authorization. And you did receive a copy of the offering document on Friday or Thursday or Friday, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have in regards to this.
Are there any questions for John? Motion would be in order.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve 9B.
Travis?
Yes.
Motion has been made by Davis and seconded by Salee to approve 9B. Discussion? Thank the public.
Yes.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Salee?
Yes.
Smedley?
Yes.
Clyde?
Yes.
Bennett Johnson? Yes. Davis? Yes. Schroeder?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Consideration and vote to approve a contract with Bank First Oklahoma City, Oklahoma to serve as the registrar and paying agent on the district's $750,000 general obligation building bond, Series 2020B.
This is pages 176 through 182. This is a standard agreement that we have with, as the paying agent. This is necessary. You have to have a paying agent to do this. John can answer any more questions that you might have.
He's good, just say that.
Same as was last time, 350, second is 350 annual, you only have essentially one payment, so not a big cost.
So since we approved the resolution, has it not already approved Bank First as the designated registrar?
It does, but this approves their contract.
It was.
This approves their contract for services.
Madam President, I move to approve a contract with Bank First, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, to serve as registrar and paying agent on the district's $750,000 general obligation building bonds, series 2020B.
Second. Motion has been made by Salih and seconded by Bennett Johnson to approve 9W. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salih,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. 9X, consideration and vote to approve a contract with Hilborn and Weedman, Tulsa, Oklahoma, as the bond counsel and disclosure counsel for the district's $750,000 general obligation building bond, series 2020B.
This agreement is on pages 183 and 184 of the packet. Mr. Wolf can answer any questions.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the contract with Gilmore and Whiteman of Tulsa, Oklahoma, to serve as bond counsel and disclosure counsel on the district's $750,000 general obligation building bonds, series 2020.
Second.
Motion has been made by Smedley and seconded by Salih to approve 9X. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salih,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Agenda item 10, proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA request, resignation and separation from employment and transfer of position request, all is set out on the personnel reports, disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirements of state and or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307B, 1, 2, 3, and 7.
Madam President, I'll make a motion that the board go into executive session.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Schroeder and seconded by Flagg for agenda item number 10 to go into executive session. Roll call, please.
Salih,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Return from executive session, only the items in agenda item number 10 were discussed in executive session and no votes were taken. Agenda item 11, vote on action as set out on the personnel reports.
Madam President, I move that we approve the personnel reports.
Second.
Motion's made by Flagg and seconded by Davis to approve the personnel reports. Roll call, please.
Salih,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Bennett Johnson,
Yes.
Davis, yes, Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Action upon recommendation of extra duty assignments as listed for 2020-2021.
We have none for consideration this evening.
Agenda item 13, recommendation, consideration, and action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of the agenda.
We have none.
14, discussion of possible action on new business not known about or could not have been reasonably foreseen at the time of the agenda posting.
We have no new business.
Motion's ordered to adjourn.
Madam President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made by Smedley, second by Bennett
members, if you have not met Alicia Yonke, our new assistant, and would be the clerk, please feel free to visit with her and say